as you might have heard, or guessed from the title of this video, I am gonna move to Botswana, yay! I've wanted to move to Japan for a very long time now, and it's happening in just a couple of weeks. So that's pretty exciting. Am I prepared? Not really. So welcome, I guess, to this new series of videos called Journey to Japan, because I'm creative in naming things. The series will go through all the logistics of moving to Japan in terms of visa applications and other sexy topics, and it will sort of chronicle my journey of getting there. Starting with this first video, yay, where I'm going to talk about why I'm going to move to Japan in the first place. Mainly to sort of get to grips with this myself. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, but the Slappee, I thought you were Japanese. Well, I'm afraid not. Looks can be deceiving. I am actually from Sweden. But I have wanted to move to Japan since I was about 16 or 17. Like many others of my generation, I grew up on Pokemon, manga, and tentacle porn. I studied Japanese back in high school as well, instead of Spanish. Thank fuck. No offense to the Spanish speakers. So the linguist in me, because I think we all have a little linguist in us, has always been very fascinated with the language. And that's also what I'm going to do there. I'm going to study Japanese at a language school in Tokyo. That sounds amazingly cool. Holy shit, I'm actually doing this. Okay, I will be going there on a student visa, but as I said, more about that in upcoming videos in regards to, visa application stuff. But of course, it is not just the language that gives me a raging hard-on. Of course, there are so many different aspects of Japanese culture that, tickles my tentacles. After the sort of initial dose of manga and anime that we all went through, I guess. I found out about some Japanese music that I really like. Hisato Nakagawa and Bradio, especially. Two very different sides of Japanese music. I've read a lot of Haruki Murakami's stuff. I think he's my favorite author, maybe? I've got hooked on Japanese figure skating. I could go on. Just in general, Japan seems like such an interesting mix of traditional and sort of hyper-modern cultures. And I'm very interested in learning more about that. I know that I've just obviously scratched the surface. All that combined with the fact that everyone I've met from Japan have been extremely friendly people. Except for one guy, I guess, who I used to live with in London, who was a bit of a numpty. He was convinced he was being followed and spied on by the Japanese mafia. Had me go through his room and search for and look for hidden cameras and stuff. I mean, he was really nice about the whole thing. So I guess he actually wasn't an exception. He gave me some miso soup as thanks. But I guess the main thing, the main reason why I want to move to Japan is that it seems to be a very different place compared to Sweden and the UK, which is where I've lived so far. This trip is going to be a first for me in many different ways. It's going to be the first time I move to a country where I don't know anyone. Sorry, Mario, you don't count. And where I don't speak the language at all. When I moved to London, I had my sister who could sort of take care of me when I first arrived. And obviously I've spoken English since I was an even tinier person, It's also going to be the first time I ever live on my own. I've always been stuck with either family, girlfriends, or flatmates. Me moving there will also be the first time I visit Japan. It's even going to be the first time I go outside of Europe. You might think that I'm very stupid doing all this, moving to a country where I don't speak the language, where I don't know anyone, and where I've never even been before. Yeah, but that is kind of the point for me. I want the challenge, I suppose. I say that now, I'll probably be nervous as shit when it actually comes down to doing it, but I know that there will be struggles, and I know that I will end up in, countless very awkward situations where I'll probably make an ass of myself. But that's kind of the point. Cliche as that might sound, And this might sound stupid as well, but the worst thing that can happen, the sort of worst case scenario, realistically, because I don't count, being abducted by the Yakuza or eaten by a cult, But the worst thing that can happen is that I realize that I don't like living in Japan at all, in which case I'll just go back to Sweden and lick my wounds. And that's fine, I will have learned a lot of stuff about myself and I will not make the same mistake again. So I'm really not that worried. And all of this is just the worst case scenario as well. I don't think it's very likely that I will not like living in Japan. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to bring you with me. Yay, if you want me to. So in short, I am very fucking excited about this, as you probably can tell. I've wanted to do this for the last 10 years, and I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks. That is, Jesus. I wear a diaper constantly because I shit myself as soon as I think about it. Yes, that's the shit joke. This is a Slappee video after all. Alright, so the next video in the series will be about the sexy logistics of, you know, visa applications, finding a place to live in Tokyo, and so on. I hope you're as hot and bothered about that as I am, you know. I'll try to make it as juicy and immature as I can, of course, as always. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do leave it a like and a comment down below, and subscribe if you want to see more from this series. Yay! So until then, take care everyone, and toodaloo.